ELELLIANA ignored Samuel's call for the third time. Her phone vibrated on the bed again, a persistent, angry hum against the sheets. She snatched it up, his name flashing on the screen like an accusation. "Why is he calling me? Why?" she muttered, packing her small room like a trapped animal. Her fingers raked through her hair, the frustration a tight coil in her chest. "God," she pleaded to the empty air, "is this the brother you want me to settle down with? This one? This quiet, simple? Not even handsome brother?" She stopped and looked at the ceiling as if he sat just beyond the plaster. "Lord, be honest. Is this a test? Because I'm not understanding." She remembered Samuel's gentle smile, his constant prayers, his unwavering service, a portrait of godly character that somehow made her angrier. His very goodness felt like a rebuke. "Why can't I just like him?" she whispered, sinking onto the bed. The phone buzzed again. She threw a pillow over it, muffling the sound but not the echo of her friends' voices in her head. "He's not your type, Ella. You need butterflies. You with a brother that quiet? Never." They were right. She felt nothing. No spark, no excitement. Yet every time she prayed, his name returned, a quiet, stubborn echo in her spirit. She pressed a palm against her chest, a hollow ache beneath her ribs. "Lord, why? Why Samuel?" She didn't have the courage to wait for an answer. The next afternoon, Samuel gathered his courage and came to her parents' house. He stood at the door with a small gift bag, nothing expensive, just thoughtful, her favorite devotional book, and a note that read, still praying for clarity, "May God guide us both." ELELLIANA heard his voice, and her heart dropped. "Oh God, why did he come here?" She forced a smile as her mother called her to the sitting room. Samuel stood there with that gentle, respectful smile she secretly found annoying because it made her feel guilty. "Good afternoon, ELELLIANA. I brought something for you, just something to encourage your walk with God." She took the bag with zero enthusiasm, her eyes rolling almost of their own accord, and dropped it carelessly on a nearby chair. "Thank you. You can go now. I'm busy." Samuel blinked, then hurt settled in his eyes, a deep, quiet pain. "ELELLIANA, did I offend you?" "No," she snapped. "I just need space. Please go." Her father stared in disbelief. Her mother covered her mouth, embarrassed. Samuel swallowed hard, nodded slowly, and whispered, "All right, God bless you," before turning to leave. The moment the door closed, a heavy, uncomfortable silence filled the room. "ELELLIANA," her mother finally said, "that was unnecessary." "Even if you don't like him, that behavior was wrong," her father added. She flared up. "I didn't ask him to come. I didn't ask for any of this. God knows I don't feel anything for him. Why are you all pushing me?" "We're not pushing you," her mother said gently, "but the way you acted, it wasn't right. At least pray, don't decide from anger." Her father nodded. "God's will is not always your initial preference. Peace is bigger than feelings, ELELLIANA." The words strung because they were true. She stormed into her room and slammed the door. Inside, the frustration melted into a sickening guilt. She stared at the gift bag, innocent and undeserving of her anger. Tears gathered. "Why is this happening to me? Why Samuel? Why someone I don't love?" A shadowy voice, soft and insidious, returned. "Because Samuel is not for you. Your parents are wrong. God is wrong. Follow your heart." She trembled. Something in her spirit knew that voice wasn't hers. She grabbed her pillow and cried into it, torn between her roaring emotions and God's quiet nudge. Outside her room, her parents prayed softly. Inside, she battled the loudest war of her life, a war between feelings and God's whisper. Later that night, ELELLIANA sat hugging her knees. Her phone buzzed. "Samuel again, just checking on you. Hope you're fine. God bless you." She rolled her eyes. "See, he's even too gentle. Why is he always behaving like an angel?" Then her mind shifted. What will people say if I tell them God is pointing me to someone I don't even find attractive? What if my friends mock me? Doubts grew louder. Feelings grew heavier. As she lay down, the atmosphere in the room shifted. A strange heaviness pressed on her spirit. Negative thoughts flooded in, violent and convincing. God cannot choose someone like him for you. You need excitement, not peace. If you don't like him now, you'll never like him. Listen to your feelings. They know better. ELELLIANA sat up abruptly, her breath quickening. She felt watched. And then she saw it, not physically but clearly in her spirit, a shadowy figure, tall and distorted, standing in the corner of her room, whispering her own fears back to her. Her skin crawled. What is this? The shadow whispered again. Follow your feelings, ignore that peace. Peace is boring, Samuel is boring, marriage should be sparks, not calm. She covered her ears, but the voice only grew louder inside. Lord, I'm confused. I don't know what is you and what is me anymore. Suddenly, a gentle warmth filled the room, not dramatic, just a quiet, unmistakable peace. The darkness hissed and withdrew into nothing. Then she heard it, not loud, not forceful, just a whisper in her spirit. Elelliana, feelings are loud, but I speak in peace. You are mistaking excitement for confirmation. Her tears flowed freely. Lord, help me hear you, help me silence every other voice. Peace settled around her. The battle had only started, and heaven was refusing to let her lose. 2 days later, ELELLIANA stepped into church, determined to distract herself. Then she saw him, Brian, tall, handsome, stylish, with an annoyingly perfect smile. The moment she saw him, everything inside her seemed to make sense. Her heart did gymnastics. She floated in his direction, laughing too loudly at unfunny jokes, complimenting him, inventing reasons to be near him. Brian was polite, friendly, but not invested. Yet she convinced herself, this is the one. This is what love should feel like. Her spirit whispered, be calm. Her emotions screamed, go for him. Meanwhile, Samuel quietly entered through the side door and saw everything. He saw her glowing for another brother, laughing with a freedom she never gave him. His heart squeezed painfully, but he said nothing. ELELLIANA'S mission continued until, later that evening, a beautiful woman walked up to Brian and hugged him warmly. Babe, you ready to go? Babe. ELELLIANA froze. Brian cleared his throat. Oh, ELELLIANA, this is Grace, my fiancée. Fiancée. Her heart dropped to the bottom of her stomach. Her fantasy, her assumption that feelings equaled God's will, collapsed in an instant. She got home that night and broke down. The whisper echoed in her spirit. Now do you see, not every excitement is divine. Not every attraction is purpose. For the first time, she realized her heart could deceive her. And Samuel, the brother she despised, was the only one who carried a peace she could not explain. Samuel stopped calling, stopped texting, not from anger, but for clarity. He withdrew to pray and fast, asking God to either remove the feelings or confirm them. Strangely, his silence bothered her. Why is he suddenly quiet? Did I chase him away? She shook it off. Good, he should move on. But heaven had different plans. ELELLIANA woke the next morning screaming. Her skin was covered in angry, red rashes. She wept before the mirror. I'm not beautiful anymore. Why now? For the first time, she whispered a prayer from a humbled heart. Lord, are you trying to tell me something? When Samuel heard the news, he didn't hesitate. He went to her. She sat on the couch, hiding her skin with a scarf, head down. Don't look at me, I look terrible. Samuel knelt beside her. ELELLIANA, beauty is not in your skin. You are beautiful because of who you are inside. His voice was soft, sincere. If every one of those marks stays permanently, I will still want you. I will still pray for you. I will still choose you. Nothing on your skin can change what God placed in my heart. She looked up. His eyes held compassion, not disgust, sincerity, not pressure, peace, not confusion. Something melted inside her, a wall she had been fiercely defending. Samuel, her voice cracked. Why are you this good? Why do you care? Because God put you in my heart, he said simply. I'm not perfect, but I can stand with you, even now, even like this, you're not alone. A tear rolled down her cheek. For the first time, she whispered the words she had refused to say. I think I need to truly pray about you. Samuel smiled gently. Take your time, I'm not going anywhere. And she believed him. That night dreams came, visions of dark fields and shadowy whispers, of beautiful gardens that crumbled into pits. She stood in a courtroom before the throne of light, shown 2 futures, one with Samuel, peaceful, purposeful, and covered in grace. Another with Brian, unstable, manipulative, ending in heartbreak. The judge spoke, love is not always a feeling at first. Love begins as obedience, grows into understanding, matures into sacrifice, and blossoms into affection. You want love without obedience, but in my kingdom, obedience births love. She woke, her answer clear. Days later they met in a quiet park. She looked at him, truly looked, without comparison or irritation. Samuel, I owe you an apology. I judged you. I despised you. I hurt you, but God has dealt with me deeply. He nodded, his eyes warm. ELELLIANA, I just wanted you safe. That's all I ever prayed for. They talked for hours, not with drama but with reality, and with every shared story and confessed fear, a quiet attraction began to root, not fireworks, but peace, the kind of peace that melts walls. The enemy didn't give up. Old thoughts crept back. He's not your type, too simple, but this time she fought back. No, she whispered into the darkness. God's voice is final. She reached for her Bible, and as she spoke God's word aloud, the chains snapped. Months passed, their friendship deepened. She watched him serve, pray, and carry burdens with a quiet strength that became magnetic. She didn't fall in love with his face, she fell in love with his heart, and that was stronger, deeper, purer. One evening, under a soft sunset glow, Samuel held her hands. ELELLIANA, may I love you for the rest of my life. She didn't hesitate. Yes. It wasn't the fairy tale she'd once imagined. It wasn't butterflies or fantasy. It was God shaping her heart until it could recognize the treasure he had placed before her all along. Samuel wasn't her second option. He wasn't the leftover choice. He was the man God had written into her story before she was born, and she finally had the eyes to see it.